But for 3 weeks, we worked exclusively on opening, releasing the psoas. And then the culmination of that was that we were able to find more fluidity and possibility in the sacrum, which we can describe as like the root and rudder of the spine. And the sacrum has this tendency to nod in nutation, and that sets off the slope of the curve in the lower back, and that can invite the rest of the spine to back bend. And the inverse is that the sacrum nods out, counter nutation, and then it draws the lower back into flexion, and again invites and inspires the rest of the spine to get that soft sloping flexion of the spine that we see in like child's pose in particular. And this interplay of back bend and forward bend is really at the crux of the Hatha yoga practice. It's this dance of opposites that sets off these undulating wave-like patterns through the spine, similar to a serpent that might be swimming up the spine, and that will lead us to stories of Kundalini very soon. But today we're going to focus on Hatha, and the posture practice comes from the Hatha yoga tradition, and Hatha can be translated a few different ways. One of them is to break the word apart, and then it means ha, sun, ta, moon. So now we have yoga, the joining, yoking, bringing together of ha and ta, sun and moon, of opposites. And similar to this dance of back bend, forward bend, forward bend, the name is telling us that there's this joining, yoking together of things that seem like opposites, and that we might also describe as contrary complements. And one of the things that yoga wants is that you're able to feel that inside of your body. So it's not something you think about or have to figure out or even believe in, but it's something that you can feel in the fabric of your tissues, in your muscles and your bones. And, you know, this has implications that go far beyond the body too, because yoga says that we suffer due to avidya, misperception or misseeing, and misseeing the nature of reality. And the nature of reality is that we are swimming in duality. As long as you are in a human body, you are in the relative world and immersed in this fabric of duality. We have sun and moon, inhale and exhale, day and night, masculine and feminine. And then the mind loves to assign values like good and bad, yes and no, like and dislike, desirable and undesirable. So the tradition recognizes that we are immersed in this world of duality. And then the practice is to give us some sense of unity and clarity and a steady, still center, so that we're able to engage with those polarities with more grace and poise. For example, we spend a lot of time chasing after what we think will bring us pleasure and running away from any type of pain. We seek gain and try to avoid loss. We crave praise and try to stay as far away from blame as possible. But the truth of the matter is, we will experience both sides of those coins. And we live in a culture that sells us a story that if we do things right and we have all our ducks in a row, we will always gain and never lose. If we really have it together, we will only receive praise and never blame. But we've all been around long enough to know that that's just not true. And this situation of COVID-19 in particular is showing us that you can do everything right, have all your ducks in a row, and sometimes shit still hits the fan. So what do you do then? Do you have the tools for resilience and being able to experience the whole range of human emotions? And also to have some sense of inner stability, even when the pendulum swing and the roller coaster ride gets quite wild. So for the next several weeks, we're going to be working with these pairs of opposites, doing more of a dance of duality, learning to embrace the paradox. And this week's theme has been grounded lightness. And part of this came about because one day we were talking about grounding, and someone said, when I think of grounding, I think of heavy, you know, kind of like mud. And other times we'll think of lightness, but then we'll unplug ourselves from our foundation. That's kind of what we were talking about, Dana. The grounded comes first, then the lightness. And it's almost like a rebound or a spring or a, because you're so plugged in, you get an energetic current upward. And that's what we'll look for today in practice.